Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I want to answer the question that a lot of you guys have been asking me, and that is, would I ever gig with this EVH Iconic? Would I ever play with it live? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name's Ray, I'm a guitar player here on YouTube, and let's just jump right on in, man. This amplifier has been killing it on my channel, on a lot of people's channels. A lot of people have been saying a lot of great things about this amplifier, and I'm just stoked to be fortunate enough to have one in my possession to create some content and, you know, just do my thing with it, I guess, you know? So, before we go any further, this is not a sponsored video or anything like that. I bought this myself. Just want to make sure that's clear because, you know, going to be giving some opinions on this thing, okay? So last night, actually, I had a rehearsal with Concrete Dream. We had our first rehearsal of 2022, and knock on wood, man, we have our first show here this coming weekend, this Saturday, the 8th or 9th, whatever that is. But I'm really, really excited about that, and we all are. But I figured, what better way to put this thing to the test than to play with it live, right? You know what I mean? Like, why not? You know what I mean? So, like, you know, again, just getting back to the intro, a lot of people were reaching out and saying, hey, is this good enough to gig with? And I kept saying, well, I don't really know. Because, you know, it's easy for me to say I like it or I dislike it, whatever, in the confines of my house, you know what I mean? But I'm very fortunate enough to now have my content shift a little bit to where, like I said, I'm fortunate enough to where I can play live and I can play in front of people and I can play in, you know, a space that I'm not familiar with, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, you know, a little foreign to me. And that's a good thing because it allows me to put gear to the quote-unquote real test, not just like in the confines of my comfortable little studio here, you know what I mean? So, what I'm about to show you right now is some clips and some highlights and some sound bites of last night's rehearsal. One thing that's interesting and what's awesome about this amplifier is you have the ability to use the speaker emulated XLR output to capture some audio. So I did that when recording and when rehearsing. But yeah, man, here's a quick little montage and a quick little spliced segment of our rehearsal last night. yeah, so there you have it. I used the Iconic last night at rehearsal. Now let's dive on in. First things first, I'm not a big fan of the speaker emulated XLR output. Now take everything I say with a grain of salt, because this amplifier is obviously and undoubtedly geared towards budget friendly and dare I say entry level guitar players that want their first tube amplifier. So I don't know, think of it this way. 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, before I was even born, you know, XLR speaker emulated output amplifiers weren't even really a thing, right? And you know, we could be a little spoiled and say like, oh, it doesn't sound the best or whatever, but you know, the fact that this does have a speaker emulated XLR output to record and or capture audio is great, man. If that feature wasn't available, I probably wouldn't have been able to capture as clean of audio as I did last night. But that being said, I use the Universal Audio aux box just out of frame for my cabinet, quote unquote, and that thing costs more than this amplifier alone. So obviously that probably will sound a little bit better, and I'll be a little bit, you know, more wanting to gravitate towards hold on, I'll be wanting to gravitate towards that more than the XLR output. But regardless, it's cool that I was able to capture the audio, right? Now let's talk about the amplifier in a traditional setting, in a live setting. I thought it sounded great, man. One thing I was actually kind of unexpected, and a good thing, honestly, is there's a usual 4x12 orange cabinet that's at the rehearsal space. That's not mine, that I just borrow and I just use, right? The band uses. But that wasn't there for whatever reason, so I was playing through two 1x12 Marshall cabinets. So basically an unorthodox 2x12, right? And that's cool, man, because, you know, whenever you're playing gigs and, you know, going to venues that you're unfamiliar with, the backline, you never know what you're gonna get, right? So it was funny how, like, I was putting myself on the spot without even realizing it, showing up to the rehearsal space, which I thought would have a little bit more controls in place, and it didn't. It had some 1x12 cabinets, and it worked out great, man. Regardless, yeah, I was able to, you know, go through the set 3 or 4 times, however many times we did it, with this amplifier, cranked up really, really loud. And knock on wood, man, it did the job. So, will I use it live? Yeah, man, why not? You know what I mean? Why not take this thing, you know, out on the road, even though, you know, it's not a tour. It's just a one-off out in Jersey City or somewhere. But I might be the first person to ever gig with it on the internet by the time it gets out. I don't know. Maybe the first metal player. I don't know. But regardless, man, I'm not trying to be first or whatever. It's just, it's going to be cool that I'm going to have the ability to play with this live in a venue and, you know, do another test, if you will, with this amplifier. Now, I am a little reluctant. It has nothing to do with this amplifier in particular, but the 2 amplifiers from EVH that I've bought brand new, I've blown the fuses and tubes immediately. In here, no, that's not true. I blew one here, and I blew one at practice with my old band. I blew the EL34 fuse, and I blew the Stealth fuse. So, I'm hoping this one doesn't do that. Third time's a charm, right? But also, too, if anything goes wrong with this, I'll bring my tried and true Victory Kraken, my little guy that I played the whiskey at out in California. So that'll be like my safety net and my backup plan. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap up this video, I'm going to play with this thing live. Why not? You know what I mean? Let's go for it. Let's do some fun content with this thing. So last night in this video was like a trial run and a way for all of us to, you know, just test out the waters, I guess you should say. But yeah, dude, it sounded great last night. Speaker emulated XLR output was just a cool little feature to capture some audio without having to mic a cabinet, because that's a pain, you know, to say the least. But yeah, man, all in all, I'm gonna use this thing live. I see no reason why I wouldn't. It'll be fun, man. You know, let's see what this thing can do in a concert setting, okay? So everybody, quick little video, man. Just wanted to showcase this with you all. Thank you so much for joining. If you're brand new to my channel, you want to consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. I'm out of here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay metal. I'll see you guys next time. Later.